Hello everyone, I'm OCDsaster and this is OCDsaster Blue, my Sonic exclusive channel where everything we do here is Sonic related, so if that sounds like something your speed, consider checking out some other videos and subscribing after this one. In today's video, we are going to be discussing Sonic Racing CrossWorlds roster, that being what we have and what we will be getting in the near future, along with some predictions for characters down the line. So if you're interested, let's get right into it. If you go to the Sonic Racing official website, or Sonic Racing CrossWorlds, you gotta get the whole title in there, the whole lengthy title. You will see a few different things when you go to the racer page. You will see the main game racers, the Season Pass collaboration racers, and the free post-launch racers. So the main game racers are just all the characters you get off the bat. You don't have to unlock them or do anything special to get them. They are just the base roster for the game. I would have preferred to unlock some of these characters, but that being said, there is no harm or foul with this. There's tons of unlockables in this game other than racers, so it's okay that you have this full roster already playable. Then you have the Season Pass collaboration racers, which we already know for Season 1, all of the racers. You got Minecraft Steve, Minecraft Alex, Minecraft Creeper. Then you have SpongeBob, Patrick, Pac-Man, the Ghosts from Pac-Man, Mega Man, and Proto Man. And then they've already revealed that there will be the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Avatar, the Last Airbender characters. Now, we don't have the exact characters that we're going to be getting, but I would assume we're going to get 3 for TMNT and 3 for Avatar. So that's what I have there. Where things really get interesting is when you go over to the free post-launch racers. These are racers that are free DLC, and we already have a few. We have Hatsune Miku, Joker, and Kasuga. They have already been announced. You can play as Hatsune Miku already, but Joker and Kasuga, I believe is how you say it, they will release later, but these will be free. And then we have a bunch of empty slots. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Is that right? Can I count? Yes, 9 racers that we are not quite sure about. So when it comes to the purchasable DLC, we know which ones are coming out for Pass 1. And I think we're going to get more than one pass, because you wouldn't just do season passes and only have one season. So I think if the sales do really well, and I mean the game's already performing well with the amount of reviews that it's getting, a very high regard and high ratings, if they can keep this up and keep the game fresh and polished, we can have future DLC characters, which would be great for the season pass. But we really just don't know any of these free post-launch racers. They're most likely going to be either Sonic characters from the Sonic franchise or Sega IP. It's a little bit easier to get those kind of characters from the roster versus, doing some third-party stuff. So in today's video, I thought it would be fun to predict what 9 free DLC characters we will be getting after we get Joker and Kasuga. So, unfortunately, the first batch of these characters are ones we've already seen in previous Sonic titles and Sonic Racing games, but to me, it just makes perfect sense that they would return, because they're kind of iconic in that sense and bring that nostalgia. So first, I have II from, Super Monkey Ball. I think this just makes perfect sense. He's adorable, he's cute. Super Monkey Ball isn't as popular as it used to be, but it makes sense. And you would even get a machine or cart type that could be reminiscent of the ball. Would you actually get to race around in a ball? I don't think so. That, however, would be hilarious if every character could start running around in balls, but I don't think they're going to go that far. Next, we have Billy Hatcher. Billy Hatcher has not been around for quite some time. However, he is a very Sonic parallel character. And actually, now that I think about it, maybe we could switch Billy Hatcher out for Balan from Balan's Wonderland. Although that game did not perform well and was memed on heavily, that is also a very Sonic parallel, Sonic adjacent character. So you know what, I'll say either Billy Hatcher or Balan from Balan Wonderworld, which then makes the next selection a little bit interesting because Balan looks very similar to this character, and that would be Knights. Knights has been in a lot of other Sonic and Sega racing games, so it would make sense for him to come back. Now, adding some more diversity to this roster because we need some more female characters, let's bring back Ooh La La from Planet 8. Planet 8? Is that the game's called? I can't remember. There is a very hardcore fan base for it though, and it would make sense to bring Ooh La La back. And now we can finally move into characters that I could see coming in as free post DLC racers, but are not or haven't been in previous Sonic racing games. This next character might have been in one All-Star Racing game. I couldn't find a proper render for it, but the taxi driver from Crazy Taxi. This just makes perfect sense having that character in this game because, you know, they already have a taxi car and it's a racing game, so it kind of all just fits together. Then we move over to the lead for the previously known IP and franchise title of the Yakuza series, and I just think that would make sense. We already have Yakuza Like a Dragon, so why not go to the base game or the main franchise and title and it'd be, you know, Yakuza. Now we move into the really interesting characters. The 4 free post-launch racers that I think will be from the Sonic franchise joining this game. A lot of people have their personal favorites, personal picks, personal speculation. You guys can let me know down in the comments below what you think. It could be a lot. It could be characters from different, you know, Sonic titles, Sonic spin-off games, even maybe the Sonic comics. But I think these 4 are all unique, but also make sense for this game. You guys might not like these picks, but this is just what I came up with, and I could most definitely be wrong. I have, for the first Sonic IP free DLC racer, Mighty the Armadillo. Mighty has kind of made a resurface in like the Sonic Mania titles and has been referenced in like posters and stuff in other Sonic side-scrolling games, and I think it just makes sense to have this guy in. He's classic. I was thinking classic Sonic for a while, but I think they're starting to move away from classic Sonic after, you know, the, I wouldn't say disaster, but lackluster Sonic Forces, and saying that that's a past Sonic, not an alternate dimension Sonic. So having, you know, Mighty Armadillo in here makes sense as that classic representation. Next, I have a character that we've been seeing more of lately in animations and in storylines, but haven't seen in a game in a very long time, and that is Emerald. Although their story is kind of completed in Sonic Battle for the Game Boy Advance, they could always have Emerald come back as a racer in this game, and I think it would be really cool to have Emerald in here and join Metal Sonic and, you know, Eggman's team. So Emerald is my second pick for the Sonic free DLC racers. Next is a character that I think we need in this because we need more villains, really hardcore evil villains in this roster. So I have Black Doom. Imagine being able to play as Black Doom. This would be the first time we could do this, and it would be great. If not Black Doom, at least Doom's eye. I mean, that would look kind of goofy, just seeing his eye floating in a cart or on top of a board, but this would be a fun addition, I think, and it would add more villains to this roster. So I have Black Doom, who's made a recent appearance as Shadow Generations, and we even have the White Space level in Radical Highway, which he's obsessed with. So Black Doom is my third pick for the Sonic free DLC racer. And last but not least, we have a reference that gets pulled straight out of where it all started, Sonic Racing, and that would be Tails Doll. I think out of all these characters that I have predicted and speculated in this video, the one character that we will most likely see is Tails Doll, because it's such an iconic character that, you know, it would just make perfect sense because they're memed all the time. They're always brought into the zeitgeist when it comes to a Sonic racing game, and it would just make sense. I can definitely see this happening. I would give it a 95 to 99.9% chance of happening. I could always be wrong, as you guys will let me know down in the comments, but this is what I see as the free DLC racers. So let's recap. We have our main racers, which we all know and love, although I wish we would have had like Silver and Shadow and a few people locked and had to do certain things to unlock them. It's still great that we have this as a base, because we do actually have a lot of racers in this game. When it comes to the Season Pass, we already know all of Season Pass 1's characters, and there's really not a lot to speculate on. For the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, it could just be 3 of the Turtles. That would be a little bit lackluster. I think it's be more so like how they're doing the Pac-Man ghosts, where you could probably swap different colors. You can probably do different Turtles, and then we'll probably get April O'Neil, and then maybe Splinter or Shredder, a villain maybe in there, but those are the 3 I can see for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And then for Avatar, The Last Airbender, obviously Aang, because he's the main, protagonist, Korra, and then the third one would probably be Zuko if I had to guess. But once again, they could maybe do something where you could switch between some of the airbenders, and it could be all 4, Earth, Wind, Fire. I don't know what they're going to do with Avatar, but we are confirmed to have those in here. And that is the Season 1 Pass. I think that this game is doing very well, and they will announce a Season Pass 2 after they reveal all these other characters. I have a hot take about the Season Pass racers for this game. They didn't do a great job with this. There were tons of leaks by themselves, even when they gave out the physical copy of the game. And, the reveal trailers were fine, and it's great that we get these extra third-party characters, but it's not like Smash Bros. Everyone, including myself, have been comparing this to be like the Smash Bros. Of racing games because of all the cross-contamination, cross-collaboration between video game IP. However, Smash Bros. Was really good at keeping things under wraps and not being able to leak or spoil what characters were coming out. Now, they weren't perfect with it. There were some leaks here and there, but for the most part, everything was zipped up tight, and they didn't announce everything right away. It was fighter after fighter, whereas for this, they kind of already gave us the full pass. We already know everything before Minecraft just came out, so now we're just waiting around for these characters. So there's not as much hyper anticipation because we already know what's coming, and I think that was what kept Smash Bros. So fresh, was that they didn't reveal the full pass until, everything was announced. Like, they waited up to the very end, and I think and hope that if we do a Season Pass 2 for Sonic Racing CrossWorlds, that they take some more notes in that regard and people stop, data mining and leaking, but that's never going to happen. And then, last but not least, we have the free post-launch racers. It's so great that we're getting free DLC characters just added in as we go along. Now, there are rumors, and I think some people commented in a previous video I did about this, that it's not just going to be these 9. It shows 9 empty slots, but people are saying they might even add more, which would be absolutely great. I think there's so many Sonic characters and even Sega characters that they could possibly pull from that the possibilities are pretty much endless. And with racing games like this, it's not too difficult to create a character model and a render and then just throw it into the game. So it's possible, but I'm just going off of what's on the site. So with the 9, we have AI as one of them. We have Billy Hatcher and or Balin from Balin Wonderworld, one of the 2 there. Knights, we have Ulala, the taxi driver from Crazy Taxi, main protagonist from the main Yakuza series, Mighty the Armadillo, Emerald, Black Doom, and Tails Doll. Now, I'm not fully, satisfied with this pick, but with only 9 slots, it was very difficult to hammer down what I wanted to see. Maybe with the AI, however you say it, the Super Monkey Ball characters, you can choose between all the different monkeys. That'd be very cool. We'll have to wait and see what they do, what Sega characters they really want to represent, what franchises they want to bring to the forefront. But these are the ones that I see that are very classic and have been in almost every Sonic or Sega racing game. I want to know what you guys think of my list. Let me know down in the comments along with yours and your wants for DLC characters for Sonic Racing CrossWorlds. Hopefully we'll get a Season Pass 2 for the CrossWorlds, cross-dimensional third-party characters, so that way we can do some more predictions for more of the fun stuff like DC characters, Batman, and stuff like that. But with that being said, I'm OCDsaster, and I hope you have a super Sonic rest of your day. See ya!